Welcome to my reality TV show. I'll show you things you never thought you'd want to know.
Welcome to Bridging the Gap. I'm your host, WildFlower, and we're here live at Paradigm Symposium 2014. And I'm here with one of the panelists from the symposium this year, John Anthony West. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, WildFlower.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we were talking a little bit for just a moment there about your views on the topic, but can you give our audience just one tip about how to create a life that you love?
I can't give one tip about how to create it, but I can give a tip on how to deal with it. And I define happiness as when you wake up in the morning and what you have to do is what you would choose to do. If you can fulfill that condition, you're automatically involved in a life that you love. It doesn't mean that it's all roses all the time, but it means that you are committed to a certain path. That path almost cannot be found if you look for it. It happens if you're lucky. And if you're lucky, when it strikes, you know it. And if you don't follow it, you do so at your peril because you'll regret it all your life. If you do follow it, at whatever it costs, whatever the cost, however much it takes out of you, however bad the finances may be, but you stick to your path, that's a life you love, even if it's painful. So that's my tip.
Thank you so much, and that makes so much sense because so many people are just walking around and they're kind of in zombie mode.
Well, they're in zombie mode, but in a way it can't be helped because as I said, you can't actually look for it. You put yourself into certain positions where you're more likely to find it. And in other words, if you're drugged out and living in the ghetto, you're not going to find it anyway whatsoever. Right. If you try to find something or another, even if you don't know you love it, but that's creative, in some form or another, at least that's a start. But otherwise, it comes upon you if you're lucky, and then you follow it. And there's no finding it. There's no real hunting for it. But there is putting yourself in position. You find, let's say you have certain, birds are called a magnetic center. You're drawn to certain things, certain writers, certain painters, certain music, and you follow that path, not necessarily knowing that you're going to do anything creative within that framework, but at least you're in a position where you're surrounding yourself with things that are important to you, and if you're lucky, somewhere along the line, you find a place for yourself within that framework, and then you follow it.
Awesome. It's almost like it finds you.
It does find
kind
you.
of thing.
It does find you.
Awesome.
And that's one of the reasons why it's so frustrating that you can't go looking for it. You're almost guaranteed not to find it if you go looking for it. You have to somehow or another stay open to it. And then it can come. But it's delusion to imagine, A, that it's easy, and B, that if you sniff a crystal or take a weekend seminar somewhere or another, that's going to be the answer, because that's not going to be the answer.
No, I love that because I have seen that in so many of the metaphysical events that I've presented at. You see people just in one moment they expect to have all the answers, and it's about like you're saying, opening yourself up to that journey of whatever whatever that's going to be.
It's easy to talk about it. In fact, it's not that easy to do. Anyway, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, for being here.
Okay, well.
If you'd like to see more episodes of Bridging the Gap, you can visit my website at wildflowerinstitute.com and sign up for the newsletter, and you'll be notified when we've got cool new Bridging the Gap episodes available. As always, wishing you love, health, wealth, and the time to enjoy.